Hi, Maria E. Richardson here. Going with my flow and seeing how how amazing these past few years have been of growth. I'm back where it all began 5 years ago when I came to this beautiful island in the Pearl Isles when I had hit rock bottom in my life, and I knew that I needed to make some changes, and this is where I started to think outside the box of what other possibilities there were for me. So here I am 5 years later, awake, connected with myself, and pretty amazed at how this journey has unfolded for me in my life. All of the ups and downs, and really how I've grown. What I did when I was feeling my lowest, and the steps that I took to change my life. So when I was back in 2020, 2021, COVID, which I think a lot of us had time to reflect on. I was working a job that I was grateful I could have. We needed good medical insurance, and we were running out of money. I was married. My children were in college, or at least my son was. My daughter was already living elsewhere. She had already graduated from college. And I was working a job at an insurance company that I was helping people. I was helping the Spanish Latin community with their short-term disability, long-term disability, that kind of thing. But it was a very micromanaged job, which just didn't suit me. Timed as far as like when I had bathroom breaks and when I had lunch breaks, and it had to be like down to the second, and my calls were recorded and all of that, and something was not jiving with that with me. And I had just started that job, and COVID hit, and then I was sent home with the job that I really was very unhappy at. I was grateful that I had it, but I was unhappy. I had just quit a job that I loved as an interpreter for Spanish English clients to go work at an insurance company where I was micromanaged every second. And I was doing it from my house, where I was stuck in my home during COVID. So I had the opportunity to come down to Panama because my dad needed some help. He was having a medical surgery. And I came down to Panama, and I was here. My friends brought me to the Pearl Islands. And that is where, or this is where this is where I had a lot of time to reflect on where my life was going. My marriage it wasn't working out anymore. We were just friends living together. Our children were not really living with us anymore. And I knew that I needed to make some changes, and here, connected to the ocean, was where I made some decisions after having many aha moments, which I love. I love aha moments. And when I came here, I learned how to snorkel, which was terrifying, but I did it and I loved it. And I really stepped outside of my comfort zone when I was here as well. This is where I decided that I needed to make some drastic changes. And when I went back to Maine, I spoke with my husband, and we decided to separate, and I moved back to Panama a few months later because my parents lived here in Panama. So that is where my journey of reconnecting with myself began. And all of what came after that. I did a class called Reconnecting with the Self. Like, what is the self? Well, the self is my soul. So I did that class with a beautiful woman from Venezuela that I had known for a long time. She just happened to be having this class, and it was the perfect timing. And so I did this class with her, and really grew from there. It was just one thing after another of different things that my heart and my soul were seeking, because I knew that there was something better for me. And I think I've always known that. Like how I was living, how conditioned I was as far as my thinking and my thoughts and my movements and how I was. I knew there was that little girl inside of me the whole time, but sometimes it was really hard to connect with her. And so this path started here. And it's been quite a journey of ups and downs and life, as we say, lifing. Good times, difficult times, sweet times, happy times, sad times, tough times, times where my resilience was being really, really tested. And that was my journey. This has been a journey where all of a sudden I'm finding myself here 5 years later, excited to start a podcast, excited to talk about all of our individual journeys of really truly finding ourselves, and changing our thought patterns to align with how we want to live and who we are, who our soul came down to be, and experience this beautiful journey called life, of all the ups and downs and what we learned from all of that. So I really hope that this podcast is going to reflect the different ways that we can connect to ourselves to truly be and live how we want to, and not because we have to do certain things, or we should do certain things, or we should live a different way or a certain way, or because we have to live a certain way, or we have to do things. No, there's too many rules. There's too many rules to life to follow, and it's kind of tiring to follow all these rules of other people, right? It's like, where are we free if we're following other people's rules? So I am excited. This is one of these moments of reflection. I'll continue reflecting, and I will also be speaking to other beautiful guests of all different kinds, from artists to music writers, music creators, psychologists, astrology. I mean, you name it, we're going to go for it. It's an exciting journey, because I do think that we all want to live our best lives and be the best version of ourselves that we're supposed to be here for. Like this is the point of life, to be so conscious and aware of what we're thinking, and get rid of these programs of what we have constantly been taught to think of, and how we've been taught to think of, which reflect our feelings, and then we're just not being our true selves. So I'm here for it all. And I want to do this with a lot of love because I truly feel like I've connected with myself so much that I've chosen to love myself and finally do things that I want. Be in relationships that I want. Why? Because it feels good. It feels good. It feels aligned with my soul. It feels like I'm coming from a place of love. And yeah, I'm here for a few days in the Pearl Isles, and so this is where it's been 5 years of me deciding to change my life, and here I am again 5 years later, a completely different woman, completely different person, a completely different human being. And I'm sort of looking forward to the unknown and seeing how all of this plays out, and doing it from a very authentic way. So I'm very glad that you're joining me for Flow with Maria E. I have a feeling water, ocean can be true medicine for me. True medicine for me. So my connection to the water has just been quite a theme in my journey the last 5 years. Maybe that's why I ended up back in Panama after moving here after moving to the States when I was 9 years old. And lifing, and then at 55 I moved back here. So I'm almost 60 now and living my best life, I guess that you would say. And it's not to say that I haven't had a great life. I've had a great life. I married a great man. Unfortunately, we just sort of went our separate ways. I have wonderful children. I'm so grateful to have the children that I have. I have the parents that I have, with all of the lessons that I've learned of how to be me, and the things that I stayed with and the things that I don't really resonate with anymore. But because we're all products of how we also grew up, right? Our limiting beliefs. But I love my parents, even through the ups and downs. I love my children. I love my ex-husband. I love my friends. I love the now. I love now. And I'm excited to see where it keeps going. So thank you for joining me for this podcast called Flow with Maria E, because we are. I'm flowing, so you're watching me flow. And this is what it is. All right. So wishing you all a good day, and hopefully you'll join me the next time. All right. With all my love, signing out.